I'm Juan T. Salter, host of the Here We Are podcast. Podcast is dedicated to exploring topics of history, politics, queerdom, perspective of Black folk and people of color, American demographic, future, geography, social issues, and culture, all things Gen X and whatever else we just discover along our nerdy way. We continue with this series of episodes delving deeper into a relevant social political topic of late, queerdom, and specifically the idea that LGBTQ plus people recruit, or as the right wing loves to call it, groom unsuspecting youth into choosing to be queer. We at the Here We Are will turn that fallacy on its head by interviewing actual queer folk themselves. I want to add these episodes now have been more gendered male, so I had to dig in to make sure that I include more in my circle. Today we invited Miss J, a Black, queer, lesbian millennial who heads patient activities at a facility amongst her other interests. A standard question always asked on Here We Are is, how did you get to be here? And that's more geography. How'd your family get here? How'd you end up being in this place?
We've always traveled back and forth to the Memphis area, growing up in the Delta.
Which part of the Delta? Arkansas, Mississippi?
Mississippi,
okay.
So we've always come back and forth in the area, and it was just kind of a natural progression to come up to this area. Once my uncle came up here, everybody else kind of followed suit.
From where in Mississippi?
So the Cleveland-Clarksdale area.
Cleveland-Clarksdale, okay. Where did you learn, or who taught you to be queer?
It's not a taught thing, and I that's a misconception that I honestly hate. It's not a taught thing. It's a naturalistic way of coming into your own. So nobody taught me. I just embraced who I already was.
Absolutely. Who or what role models did you have for being queer or gay?
Such a scary time when I did come out in high school. I think it was more so just seeing different people on TV.
Okay.
And
was that the Ellen time?
Ellen, Rosie O'Donnell. Like just seeing them be fierce and just be brave enough to be on TV and just subject themselves to what they knew was going to be backlash or just negativity, but just to see them push through it, like it was awe-inspiring, honestly.
Cool. What role models did you have? Oh, I already said that. My bad. What term is most acceptable for you, or which you're most comfortable with? Gay, queer, lesbian, same gender loving? That's because over time it has changed.
It has very much changed. And honestly, I am one of those people that I do not care for labels. If I had to go by the spectrum of how we are labeled by everyone else, it would be more so bisexual. Okay. Because I have dated both genders, but I honestly just don't care for labels. I'm me.
Gotcha. How did you come out?
My story developed over the course of maybe 10 or so years. I gradually got comfortable in high school with just being a little bit more open to...
Were there other queer kids in your high school?
Oh, yeah. Did I let them know that I was? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I don't know. It started with me having a conversation with my grandmother and her just being that I love you regardless. It wasn't I'm gay, just coming out like that, because now it's celebrated. Yeah. We throw people brunches and parties now, but that wasn't the case back then. I grew up having ministers in my family, and it was shaming almost. So I had to ease myself into it. I had to ease myself into adding the word gay into my vocabulary, adding the term I like girls in addition to guys into my vocabulary. But still, I wasn't comfortable with it. I don't think I embraced that until I got to college. And still, it was very new to have that freedom. Okay. To be able to date without restrictions or judgment, even though I knew the judgment was going to be there because I was still in Mississippi. So, yeah, I came out over the course of some years.
All right. Do you have any advice or wisdom you would care to share with a younger person in the community who may be listening to this podcast?
Be yourself. Whatever it is that you're feeling, however it is that you identify, remove the label. Don't feel the need to conform to whatever society is telling you that you are. And if there is a label that you associate most comfortably with, don't allow it to define you. Don't allow the people around you that are supposed to love you, don't allow their love to become conditional for you. Be you. Be you selfishly and unapologetically. We live in a world where we are constantly being pulled in one direction over the other, and we have to be happy looking at ourselves in the mirror.
Absolutely.
And if you're not happy looking at yourself in the mirror, what are you doing, babe? And that's all I can say. Just love you. Find a reason to keep choosing you every day, and your person will come along.
Well, with that, Ms. J, thank you for being on Here We Are.
Thank you for having me.